Hey everyone, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about one of the biggest load management mistakes that I see in recreational trainees, active adults and fitness enthusiasts. When it comes to load management, like I've banged on about in a lot of the other videos, I talk about that you've got like a tolerance level, and often the issues start to arise when you're crossing that tolerance level. But today I want you to think a little bit more like you can only put so many eggs in your baskets. You've got this many eggs and you can spread them out as thick or as thin as you like. And with that analogy, I'm going to talk about what the biggest mistake people make is that when you are training for usually multiple goals, this can happen if you do have a specific goal as well. But if you're training for multiple goals, let's say you want to be able to run a faster 5K, but you also want to be really strong in the gym and be able to squat and bench press and deadlift and overhead press a ton of weight, you're going to start training 100% of your volume into the strength training side of things, but then you're also doing 100% of your training volume into the 5K. And so when you've only got 100% that you can blend across different disciplines, and now you've put 200% into it, that's a surefire recipe to just fall off the edge of the cliff. And it might not happen straight away. It might not happen after a week. It might not happen after a month. But eventually, as fatigue creeps up, no matter how fast or slow, and you don't offset that fatigue appropriately, and your training volume is 100% coming from multiple avenues, then you're going to fall off that cliff. You're going to get injured, and the training experience for you is just not going to be a fun one. What do we need to do to overcome this? We need to plan better, potentially get a coach if we want to take it out of our own hands, but often people will just be happy to train themselves. But you need to plan better if you're in that latter basket, okay? So you need to be like, okay, I have this much work that I could do in a week or a month, and I'm going to put this much percentage of it towards my strength side of things, and I'm going to put this much percentage of it towards my endurance goals. And in that case, if you're putting 50-50, then you might get a reasonable result for both. I think what the better option would be is I'm going to put probably 70 or 80% towards this thing, and then I'm going to put the other 20 or 30% towards this thing, where I'm going to really push hard at one modality, and then I'm going to really take the foot off the gas on the other one and just try and keep it at a maintenance level. Maybe make a little bit of progress if there's some there to be made. Perhaps I'm not as good at it, I'm not as efficient at it, and I can still get a little bit better with just putting maintenance doses of volume into that thing. So when we start trying to push multiple domains at the same time, it becomes a very dangerous game. So when instead you're divvying up your time, like you're periodizing the work, for lack of a better term, you're going to be divvying up your time appropriately for the specific goal that you're chasing at that time. And then when you've gotten better at this thing, and then you want to come back to getting better at this thing, you just pull some of the eggs out of that basket and then you put them in the other one. So strength training perhaps goes back to maintenance levels or very low volume, and then you just start bringing up the volume on that endurance side. And I've also seen this be a big problem in, say, like team sport athletes as well. So if you're someone who plays Australian rules football or soccer or rugby league or basketball, whatever it may be, a lot of these people are like, yeah man, I want to play my sport, but I also love going to the gym and I want to train really hard, get a bit stronger, get a bit bigger and look better. And that's all well and good, but you still have only so much volume you can put into all of these things. And once I met an athlete who was playing Australian rules football, and he was seeing us in the rehab department for knee pain. And what this guy was doing, I said, like, what does a week look like for you? And he said, I've got footy training on a Tuesday night, a Thursday night, and then a game on a Saturday. But every morning before work, and mind you, he worked a heavy labour job, he was on the tools, But every day before work he'd be at the gym, and Monday he's hitting like his typical bodybuilder bro split, where it's Monday chest and triceps, and Tuesday's back and biceps, and then Wednesday he's hammering legs and blah blah blah. But his volume in the gym was so high, and then his footy volume was so high, and competing on the weekends, and then all he had was this rest day on Sunday, and then he expected just to go hard again the next week. And he'd been having this recurring knee pain that was really bothering him, and it was slowing down his ability to really perform on the football field. And I said, look, you've got to cut out some of that volume and really dictate the specific thing you want to improve at that given time. And once he got on board with this idea that he did only have so many eggs that he could spread out across all his baskets, he started to realize that, yeah, maybe I need to just periodize my training a little bit more and start focusing more on footy during the footy season, and then I can focus on the gym a little bit more when I'm not in the footy season, and I can push it harder as we come into the pre-season side of things. And once he started doing that and he backed off in the gym and had a really good second half of that footy season, after that he didn't really have any problems with his knee anymore, because he was simply managing that training load. And that's all it came down to, because he was a really enthusiastic trainee. He wanted to do well, so his sleep was good, his nutrition was good, there was no problems there. It was just that training load was so high that his body couldn't recover properly in between every bout that he was partaking in. So that's what I really want you to take away from today's video, is that you need to pay attention to where all of your training stress is going. If you're putting all of it into every single thing you're doing, A, you need 1 million hours in the week to train, but B, it's not going to end well. You need to be able to recover from all of that stress, and if every single thing you're doing is really high stress, it's going to catch up with you eventually. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. If you do have a question or would like to make a comment to discuss, please put that below. Otherwise, I'd appreciate a like, share and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.